Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another day of the Paleo Cardiologist. I'm Dr. Jared Erdmeyer, coming to you live to discuss our month-long book study. For those of you that haven't read this yet, this is the book, The Paleo Cardiologist by Dr. Jack Wolfson. We're into the area of the book that really talks about lifestyle things and why they are so good for you. So yesterday we talked about sleep. Today is focused on exercise. Now, again, I don't think too many people are surprised that exercise reduces your risk of cardiovascular related incident. Your heart's a muscle. When you exercise the muscle, you strengthen the muscle and it helps your body work better. Now, there's certainly some caveats to that, but ultimately that's it in a nutshell. My question for you is, for those of you that don't exercise regularly, is knowing what we're going to go through is just more information, but information without action is worthless. And having the knowledge but not applying the knowledge makes it less beneficial. So my question for you is, how does exercise become a must? How does it become a must for you so that you absolutely block out time? It has double solid yellow lines. It's done ahead of maybe more tedious tasks, but it gets you out of bed, or you do it before you go to bed, or whatever it works for you. But how does it become a must? Because, ultimately, just to share a few stats with you, basic exercise, 2014 study showed that, this was a Harvard study that showed that people that did not have cardiovascular risk factors, still over the course of 16 years, those that exercised had a 39% risk of morbidity and a 24% decrease in mortality. So because we know heart disease builds silently in many people, exercise helped people have lower heart disease risks, which again is something that I don't think people are surprised by. I have been interested to watch, as more people are staying at home, that's caused some people to do way better. I've talked to lots of people who are stretching more, doing more yoga, doing more exercise, going for more walks and runs. I've also talked to people who blame the gyms being closed on the reason that they're not exercising. They're using it as an excuse, and unfortunately, no matter if you do love going to the gym, if you're not exercising, your body's still paying the price of the negative. So a couple of things I wanted to mention is, you can exercise too much. Now, I say that because running for really long periods of time, 60, 90-minute, getting super high exertion workouts are actually shown in some cases to be counterproductive. In general, what you want is a moderate to high intensity workout that's shorter. So for instance, in the book, Dr. Wolfson on page 158 talks about how he lifts weights for 20 minutes and does cardiovascular for 20 minutes. So gets the heart rate up, also builds muscle. There's a whole bunch of research that shows that building muscle is good for you, not just for looking good, but metabolism, systolic and diastolic blood pressure, heart rhythms. Even lifting weights and building muscle is really good for you overall. Another thing that I wanted to briefly mention today, but really, really the value of it, is yoga. So when you think about yoga, especially for guys, it seems like it's something that we really often ignore as part of exercise. Yet in yoga itself, so on page 159, even though you're not necessarily sprinting to get your heart rate up, it does show that yoga can get your heart rate up. But also 2014 and then 2011 studies showed that it had improvements in everything from blood pressure to heart rate to breathing rate, total cholesterol, HDL, VLDL, triglycerides, weight loss, diabetes markers such as A1C and insulin resistance, atrial fibrillation, and lowered anxiety and depression and pain. So the reason I like yoga so much as part of a person's regular routine is it keeps mobility. One of the books I read a couple of years ago was the Tom Brady's book. And it was, whether you like Tom Brady or you don't, or whether you even have an opinion, one study that they quote in that book that I thought was really interesting is, when you're, say, 18 years old, you should be doing, give or take, 80% strength training, 20% mobility training. By the time you're 40, you want to be doing things that are mostly mobility based. So they said, give or take 80% mobility, 20% strength. Thoracic spine mobility is big, lower back mobility. So flow yoga is something that you can look up on YouTube, and you can do it for free. You can do it in your house. But I really, really like yoga for spinal biomechanics as well. So helping you hold your adjustments better, helping you really your neurology potentially work better. So exercising, you high intensity interval training is one of the more popular words right now. And what does that do? It gets your heart rate up, but it's not super long. So takeaways for today. This is one of our shorter videos, mostly because I really think most people know exercise is good for them. So my question for you is, how do you make it a must? And then what are you doing while you're home? I know for me, one thing that created some variety was I had purchased these things called TRX bands. So I hung them in my basement. It was a good way to get a different style of workout than we were used to, along with significantly increasing our yoga and our pliability exercises and stretching, since there isn't the ability to go to the gym or play basketball or do some of the things that we normally would do for workouts at our house. So hope you enjoyed it. Again, for those that are regular clients in the clinic, you can either direct message me, post a comment, and we are giving these books away out complimentary. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a blessed day.